for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Goodness gracious. Media days are going on. Makes you think about the fall, but all you got to do is step outside and summer just hits you right in the face. It is goodness gracious. It is, there is different seasons that we have here in Alabama. This is hair dryer season. This is clearly hair dryer season.
It's like biblical hot.
Even if I don't own it, I don't need a hair dryer, but it is hair dryer season. All I got to do is step outside. Hope everybody's doing well.
I took a shower about an hour before I came to work today.
Yeah.
I needed another shower when I made the 12 steps from the print store.
Get that film. Hey, you get that film on you.
Yes. I was spraying the hose to cool off the dog. You just can't beat the smell of wet dog. You really can't.
So that film and that filth is a perfect segue into ACC and Big Ten Media Days.
Hey-o.
Yes, ACC and Big Ten Media Days began today. And, gosh, where to begin? I've got, how about Rhett Lashley? Rhett Lashley, the SMU head football coach. He was asked about expanding the playoff.
I don't think it's up for discussion. It should be 16. More is better. Now, I don't think you got to go crazy over that because it is football, but we saw last year what the playoff can do. On-campus games, fantastic. Everything it does for our game. More exposure, more access, creates more fan bases and more people involved in the season throughout the year, more conferences. When it comes to our league, it should be talked about more. It should be easy. I just shed some light. I mean, there's only been 3 leagues win a national championship that have teams in their league right now since 1990. All the teams that have won a national championships in 1990 are either in the ACC, the SEC, or the Big Ten. Since I mentioned in the last 15 years, we're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten. I don't know why that's not talked about more. We have national brands. We've won championships. The revenue is almost double who's fourth. We have our own network, the competition, the investment. I just think it speaks for itself. And so most people want to see things decided on the field. So let's let it happen that way. I don't think there's any question that if it stayed at 12, we're every year a multi-bid league. I mean, Miami should have been last year at 10-2. There's no question they were one of the top 12 teams in America. But it does get tough, and especially when you have a human committee making decisions. Again, it's a hard job. It's set up for failure. They're great people. They do the best they can. The NFL doesn't do that. NBA doesn't do that. High school football doesn't do that. FIFA World Cup. Let's take that out of it and let it be decided on the field with a different process, in my opinion. But when it comes to the ACC, I think the experience and the results speak for itself.
Doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it? It speaks for itself.
Yeah, replay that. What did he say? That they're tied with the Big Ten for what?
Since I mentioned in the last 15 years, we're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten.
Well, how many does the last 10 years, how much does the SEC have? The rest of them?
No, this is since 1990. This is on his talking points right here.
Since 1990?
Since 1990.
Where were they in 1990? I mean,
where was SMU?
Yeah, so
in 1990?
We're tied with the most championship with 3
years. We're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten.
3. Feel the wrath.
The second most.
So it's tied for second.
Since 1990, the SEC has the rest. So come on.
In the last 15 years, we're tied for the second most championships with 3 with the Big Ten.
Second,
yeah. And then he concludes with
a different process, in my opinion. But when it comes to the ACC, I think the experience and the results speak for itself.
Doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah, I don't know. Right? I don't know.
There was a really good question asked by Nicole Auerbach, good friend of the program. Well, she's been on once. Can't get her back for some reason. Anyway, she was.
Make her mad?
Well, I may have.
You may have.
I may have. There's a number of questions in the Q&A part where Tony Petitti was asked several questions about their partnership here in the beloved Southeastern Conference. Let's see. Let's cue up one of them.
Doug Lesmerises from Kings of the North.
Kings of the North, baby.
Is it a must in your mind that the power conferences play the same number of conference games?
Here we go.
And if the SEC won't go to 9, would the Big Ten ever consider going back to 8?
Come on.
Yeah, so first, it's not a must. Like, each league will decide what they think the best conference schedule is for them. I think in a system where you have allocated spots, I think in talking to our athletics directors and coaches, I don't think we really care how many conference games any league is playing, because you're qualified off your conference standings. That's sort of up to you to run your own league and decide how you want to do it. But when you get to a system that's increasing the at-larges and increasing the work of a selection committee, that's when you need to understand like how we're competing in the regular season. Like, look, at the end of the day, it's really simple math. With 18 schools and 9, we're losing 9 more games to start. And so at the end of the day, I think it's really relevant. So will we consider, more at-larges? Like right now, I think the first thing is to really understand what everybody's doing in their conference schedule. But there's a second really critical part, which I mentioned in my remarks, which is what are we doing to get the selection process right? So I think those two things go hand in hand. First is how many conference games are we playing? And then secondly, what's the selection process going to be? People have talked about improving the committee's work. I believe the committee does a great job with what they have, and I've yet to hear any member tell me that more data will make the job easier. They have a lot of things in front of them. We went through a mock selection, we saw it. And so I just think those two things have to go hand in hand. First is the conference games, but again, if you go back to an allocated system, then I don't think we really care about how many conference games anybody plays.
In other words, allocate. In other words, they're getting 4.
Yeah.
Well, the Big Ten wants that because their teams aren't very good. Half of their teams are awful.
So there was a fantastic question asked about that. Let's see if I can't cue that up to Tony Petitti. Let's
Nicole Auer.
Nope, that was Nicole. I'll get to you, Nicole.
Hi, Tony. Scott Docterman with The Athletic. Your colleague with the Southeastern Conference has touted his conference as the best in the country and produced materials to suggest their strength of schedule is better than even in some cases a 9-game schedule with the Big Ten. How do you agree with him on that, or do you disagree on that? And also, Indiana was much maligned last year for its schedule. However, the results were the results. What do you say to that, and what do you how do you discuss the SEC?
Yeah, I'm going to start at the back talking about Indiana's schedule. Look, when Indiana's schedule was made, on their schedule were the 2 teams that played in the championship game the season before.
That's his number one point to Indiana. The schedule that didn't involve their schedule last year. It was the year before.
right? They played Michigan and Washington both at home, won both of those games. But those are the idea, like that's part of what this is, right? And that gets back to the value of playing games. Put that aside. Look, I'm not going to comment on where any one conference is. We just stand by what we do in the Big Ten. I think the national results have shown that the last couple of seasons. I think when you look at what expansion has meant across the A4 the last couple of years, we stand by how much tougher our league has got there. When you throw in the travel, how well our schools protect their home fields, all of that, I think that speaks for itself. I don't ever think there's any value in talking about one versus another. We feel really strongly about what we do in the Big Ten.
I mean, the Big Ten's got the SEC in travel. I mean,
always remember, if you ain't first, you're last.
Well, I mean, so the Big Ten's won the championship last 2 years.
That is
they deserve
correct.
to win it.
That is correct.
But they beat an SEC. Michigan beat Alabama in overtime.
That's right.
In a game, really, Alabama should have wrapped up earlier in the fourth quarter and didn't. Heads off to them. Yep. And then Texas got beat by Ohio State and had the ball at the 1 yard line and ended up a touchdown for Ohio State. So they've been one-play games, really.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the Big Ten hadn't been able to do it in the past. And
they're tied with the ACC since 1990 for second.
Yeah, so
3 Field of Wrath.
Anyway, I think the commissioner was very classy in his answers. He could have gone a different direction.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse for Indiana. They just dropped every Power 4 school they had left on their schedule for next year and
should have been penalized.
Yeah, and picked up a bunch of patsies. One school has had football for a year, and they did it. It wasn't anybody else. They're trying to set themselves up where they can possibly get in the playoffs every year because they're not playing anybody.
When your first talking point is on the previous year's schedule, it's a problem. It's a problem.
I just think it's ridiculous. They ought to be penalized from the get-go for dropping those teams. That's not, and I've seen it hurt other teams in the past.
Here is, I believe this is the Nicole Auerbach.
Nicole Auerbach, NBC Sports.
Yep.
Tony, as you mentioned that the Big Ten and SEC have control over this decision with playoff expansion, at their media days last week, a lot of talk about at-large models. What is your level of confidence that you guys can figure out one of these models to move forward with? And if so, level of confidence you can do that by that December 1st deadline?
Yeah, I'm not going to put any deadline on it. Look, we've I think pretty publicly brought our ADs together in both leagues twice, once in New Orleans, once in Nashville over the last 6 to 9 months, maybe a little longer than that, but twice during that period. And it's been productive, not just talking about CFP, but lots of other issues that are around college athletics. And so I do think, we're obviously not in the same place on these discussions. I think there's lots of ideas. I think the goal would be to bring people back together, have a conversation, what we think works, and then kind of go from there. But I will say, every time we've come together with the two leagues, we still have our presidents and advisory group meeting. Like, good things have happened, not just for the two conferences, I think for college athletics in some places, especially around the settlement.
So we have yet to really dive in. I played a couple of clips maybe a few weeks ago from Joel Klatt about these play-in games, but the Big Ten is really going full court press, if you can allow me to use a basketball term, on this play-in games of creating more opportunities. And honestly, heard a little bit about it even from Eli Drinkwitz. I don't know if you heard what Drink had to say in the last day at SEC Media
So what do they
Days on
say?
Thursday.
Explain to me how they're doing play-in games.
So
there's going to be another extra game? When are they going to do that? That's just stupid.
So they're allocating 4 spots to the Big Ten, 4 spots to the SEC, 2 to the ACC.
See, I hate that.
Okay. Well, the way this question is put is I think it blows it up right in the face of Tony Petitti, but I'm going to let him. He was asked it in a way which that it was just well-worded question.
First row right in front of you. Yeah. Commissioner Steve Hellwagon, Bucknuts and 24/7 Sports in Columbus.
Bucknuts.
Question I have is about the play-in situation that you want to institute. for the playoff. Last year it was pretty cut and dried that you had 4 top 10 teams that should be in the playoff. I guess the trade-off is those teams worked so hard to establish themselves after 12 or 13 games as top 10 teams. Why should they have to play Illinois or Iowa, just as examples, who had more league losses? I don't sense a clamor for a 4-loss team in a playoff. And doesn't that create a situation for the playoff, which we saw blowouts in the playoff last year, more blowouts in the playoff, which drive down the ratings and make it less lucrative, perhaps, to put a team that doesn't deserve to be in the playoff?
Yeah, there's a lot there. So let me try to do it in order. So the first piece about the value of the playing games. First, I have to commend our coaches because they obviously talk about the same thing you just raised. Like, hey, if I'm in position, I could get hurt by losing a game. I think where our coaches came down and our ADs was that, at the end of the day, there are 18 members in the Big Ten. You have 17 available opponents. You play 9 of them, right? So there's a lot of discrepancy, let alone making comparisons, across the leagues. There's a lot of issues about how you compare teams inside the Big Ten. Your schedule, just by the way it plays out, might be easier than people thought when it was made up. We obviously try to competitively balance our schedules. So there's an issue there, like even within our own league, giving teams a chance. Where we came down is that we were willing to take that risk. If you had 16 teams, there's still a catch-all where there's potentially 3 at-larges. So if in your example, if a 6 seed beat a 3, could the 3 then go into a pool to get in? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I think our coaches are willing to take that risk because what they're thinking about it is not a snapshot of any one season. They're looking at how do we get more teams in contention. Look, as you expand the playoff, the rest of the bowl system and how we're trying to protect all of that, you're basically driving everybody to this one event. And it's just, I think in every league's interest, not just ours, to have more teams emerging, like Indiana did last year, giving more teams a chance to compete.
I didn't deserve.
And there's just huge value in having games across. Look, last year, Ohio State was 7-2 and finished 4th in the Big Ten, right? Was undefeated in non-conference play. So, the idea that we can go deep, I feel pretty strongly about that. If you're 6-3 in the Big Ten, I would argue that's a great record. And if you stumbled in a non-conference game, I don't know why that disqualifies you. 8-4 is a winning percentage. If you project that winning percentage in every other sport, I'm pretty sure you make the postseason. Whether it's hockey, basketball, anywhere else, like that type of winning record. So we've conditioned ourselves to think that if you're not a 1 or 2 loss team, you're not worthy of competing. There are plenty of teams in professional sports who qualify for the playoffs who can't get past the first round game. That's okay. They still get to play. We'll figure it out on the field rather than sitting in a room.
No, we haven't figured it out in the field because if you've lost 4 games, why in the world do you think you should be there? Yeah. I hate this automatic bid thing. I get the winner of the league. I get that. That's the 5.
Conference champions do.
I don't believe we ought to play
something.
16. I don't. I think it's too many. I think it's ridiculous. But
the further we go down this road, the more we're going towards back to 12.
Well, why not have 30? That's that comes up. It's so stupid. These teams. Yeah. I mean, everybody gets a trophy. It's nuts. And he's arguing that an 8-4 team should be able to have to play in. That's not.
That's exactly what That's why I wanted to play
this
that.
This is all about money, guys. That's what he's wanting to do. That's all this is. It has nothing to do with what he just said because he sounded like an idiot. What he just said. That's not. It can't be that. And all these, they're talking about, oh God, we lose a non-conference game and lose 3, but they only got 5 teams worth anything in the Big Ten right now. Of the 18, 4-18. So, I don't think that's why they want automatic qualifiers because they're not good enough to get that many teams. They might be in the future.
You never know.
And guess what? The ACC might all of a sudden have 5 good teams that deserve to get in. They deserve to get in.
If their coaches put the team together, then they deserve to be in.
But what happens is if you do these automatic qualifiers, then the 2 of those teams will totally get screwed more likely.
This is the equivalent of basketball having an automatic qualifier, not just for the conference champion, of by the time you get to your tournament champion, you're getting at least 8 teams in.
Yeah. So I got some homework for you. Find out somebody other than the Big Ten that likes this automatic qualifier.
I have yet to find it. I'll look.
Anybody.
But the Big Ten is the only one pounding the table. So something else that I heard, this is in the ACC press conference with Jim Phillips, and given what you also do for a living, I wanted to get your 2 cents on this. Pardon the pun. I found this question interesting from a financial standpoint.
Commissioner, good morning. Eric Spanberg with the Business Journal. I'm curious, you're talking a lot, obviously, about revenue and revenue sharing. Here in North Carolina, there is suggested legislation that would give, I think, roughly between $12 and $20 million a year to NC State and UNC Chapel Hill if it plays out. And I'm curious, are you concerned or emboldened by that? Because obviously different states have different policies on gaming and how the money is spent.
Good to see you, Eric. Listen, investment in higher education and in athletics, I'm for. Just am. Every state has to do what they believe is right. But I commend the state of North Carolina for looking at it in that way and to trying to support those institutions.
So I did look it up, and there is a bill proposed in the state of North Carolina. It has yet to go through the Senate that would annually fund the 2 institutions, North Carolina State University and UNC Chapel Hill, a minimum of $14 million per year from taxpayer revenue.
Oh, I thought they said from gaming revenue.
Is that where they pulled it?
Yeah, run it back.
Yep. Hang on. No, that's what I see. It is gaming revenue.
Yeah, so that's not taxpayer necessarily.
Okay.
Go to help pay taxes. I have no problem with it. That.
Do you think we're going to see more of that?
I'm sure. Yeah. Nobody's going to let their football team get if you think about it, it's going, I mean, the revenue off of that, they'll end up getting back.
So just go play the lottery and.
No, I'm just talking about because they're going to tax that money when it goes to the players.
Yeah.
So they're going to get some of the money back.
I see.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, who knows?
Just feels I mean, again, talk radio, WZZN is HD.2 channel that you can hear at your home for Trash Panda Baseball. But it does feel like we're creeping over to that news side more and more here in the college sports world.
It might be the only way Alabama gets a lottery. If Alabama and Auburn got some of the money for their players, that might be
all of a
answer.
sudden.
Yeah.
Well, the old saying goes, politics is sports for ugly people.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Back to you.
There you go. So if that was the platform to bring in a lottery for this state, I think we got something there. Yeah.
This is Talk Radio, WZZN.
Bill O'Reilly starts at the top of the hour across the way.
It's 20 full minutes of Bill O'Reilly, and then Trash Panda's baseball starts.
That's right. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, and they're in Biloxi. We don't like Biloxi.
That's right. That's the old Stars versus the new Stars.
Yeah, well, my money's on the new Stars.
And mine is too.
They'll get underway. Pregame starts at 6:20. First pitch 6:35 with the Josh Carey.
There you go. He's been fun to listen to this season. And
he's had his stride. He
really, and I texted him maybe about a month ago. I'm hearing more and more pops, and for me, I get a kick out of it.
Yeah, but I would love to talk him into doing some high school football this fall too.
I think we may twist his arm. He did some for us last year.
He sure did.
By the way, thank you for bringing up high school football. High school football media day was yesterday out at Toyota Field. Up there on the Sports Med deck, and had all 17 schools from Madison County. A big thank you to all the coaches as well as the players for coming out and really just kick off the season.
You guys did a great job out there. I had a front row seat sitting back here at Mission Control, but I mean, you guys did a great job. And they got some great young men out there coming up and playing football this year.
Maybe the best part was me driving along 565 to help clean up and I look to my left, and there's Tom Abraham up on the big jumbotron.
Oh, there you
like
go.
Tom Abraham needs to be on a big, like I need to be on a big jumbotron. But
So his head finally got bigger.
Oh boy.
So, who you got for to pick this year to for North Alabama to be the best team in North Alabama? Do y'all have a?
From talking with Drew a little bit on that, I there is a lot coming back from Madison Academy, and I will tell you that the coaching staff shares their practice film with me, and I look pretty good. In fact, right out of the gate, Madison Academy is playing at Mars Hill, and Mars Hill brought home a map. So but from what I've been told, Scottsboro is going to be really good. Madison Academy, I think, has a chance to be decent. I would throw Mars Hill in there. I would love to say, just discerning off of the teams that we had, I wouldn't count out either a Randolph or a Westminster Christian Academy run either.
So, looking forward to high school football, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We had our meeting about that today, is getting our network.
Yeah,
set up.
that's right.
We'll have 68 games on our high school network this year.
I am fully aware.
We are throwing the full resources of WZZM behind this.
Yeah.
Not only will you hear it here, I believe we got Buckhorn here on 97.7.
That's right.
We've also got, once Trash Banders are done, we've got games over on Talk Radio.
That's right.
WZZM.
That's right.
Plus our streaming network. You can listen on your phone, on your desktop.
And the scoreboard show is back as well.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
And we'd like to thank the fine folks over at Woody Anderson Ford. Sponsors this hour of the program, has since we've started, and that was over 13 years ago.
Crazy.
And they are once again, Scott Tyson will be anchoring our coverage beginning on August the 22nd. That's 1 month from today.
So I heard a rumor that we might be doing 78 games. You heard that rumor?
I've heard that rumor too. I mean, I love high school football. I really do. I love high school football, but getting everything set up is a little bit, has its.
Y'all don't know how hard Steve Moulton works here.
I do.
He does, because you write the checks. But basically everything you hear.
There's a lot of juggling.
Yes.
Everything you hear on the air, on both stations, and on our website and everything like that has touched Steve Moulton's hands at some point.
Yeah, and then with something,
and when it breaks,
that's
because stuff only breaks at 3 a.m.
So the best story ever is that I'm riding around town, Brian, and I'm sitting there, and I turn on my radio, turn it to the station 97.7, and it's not working. I call Steve. I said, Steve, we're down. What's up? We're down. He goes, I'll call you right back. He called me back. We're fine. I said, Steve, no, we're not. It's not working. And so I'm sitting there arguing with him. I said, something's wrong. He says, Wes, I swear everything's cool. What had happened is I'd gone through the car wash, and they took off my antenna.
They took
and they put it in my car, and I didn't know it was off.
Well, there you go. See, I saw that problem about washing my truck. So
and so one day, Bobby White calls me. He says, hey, y'all are down. I turn on and said, no, we're not. So, oh, yeah, we're down. Yeah. I said, yeah, you go to the car wash? He said, yeah. He goes, oh, he'd done the same thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So but my phone just lights up. Because, we have lightning strikes, we have power outages, we have everything. He's aware of all that. But, yeah, he does a wonderful job, no question.
There's some news that just broke here this afternoon. Someone we've talked a lot about has announced his retirement, and that's the Honey Badger.
Yes.
Tyrann Mathieu.
12 years in the NFL.
I mean.
Weighed 165 in college. I think he weighs 175, 180 now.
Good for him.
And for him to play 12 years at that weight, it's incredible.
And to think about him getting kicked off.
And gave them $1 million to the school.
Yeah,
2 years later
after he got kicked out.
Yeah.
But it was the best thing. It was what Les Miles had to do.
Yeah,
he had to do that.
Yeah. So I was told a bunch of stuff, and I might have reported it at the time, but I was told he never passed a I mean, his
drug test.
Yeah, his mom was killed by his dad when the first day he got out of prison. He never met his dad.
Good night.
Yeah, well, it actually killed who he thought was his father, but it was his stepfather.
But in terms of
street,
but in terms of dominating a football field,
oh no kidding,
I can think of Bo Jackson and Tyrann Mathieu
and Herschel Walker.
Yeah,
I'll put Herschel. Yeah,
So
it is some thinly populated space at that level.
Now Herschel and Bo weighed 240.
Mm-hmm.
He weighed 165 and dominated the game on defense. It was unbelievable. He's pound for pound the best player in the history of the Southeastern Conference. That's my opinion. And he only played 2 years, his freshman and sophomore year,
right.
and go watch the tape.
Yeah,
and he's a good kid. Never caused any trouble. It just was had a hard life growing up. And I've documented that on the thing. He was saved by the Patrick Peterson family, who took him to Miami, got him away from New Orleans.
Yeah.
But now you haven't heard him in any trouble, and he's played for the Saints for the last 5 years.
I would equate it to Rolando McClain to Decatur. There just are certain environments you don't need to be in. And
that's correct.
So anyway, good for Honey Badger.
Absolutely.
Now this is also something new. We've done several media days. I've never gotten to a Tuesday the following week where I'm like, we've got more material.
It's a wealth of riches, really.
And
we could have played what was Bill and his wife's interview. We interviewed for an hour and 34 minutes.
Yeah.
We could have. Well, I don't think we ever played any of it.
I thought we did play
just a bit of it.
Yeah. Well, I had to edit it down.
Yeah.
I had to edit it down.
He met his wife at the in Las Vegas at the.
She chronicled their visit, their initial meeting out there in Las Vegas.
Yes.
That was a rather thorough visit. And I can just remember
a very consummate story.
This was at old media days in Hoover.
Right.
And all of a sudden, when you're interviewing something, this is when we were right in front of the restaurant.
Yes.
There.
Right.
And all of a sudden I see other media members starting to curl around us because they're like, oh my goodness, here is material here. You guys have scored material, and I didn't want to end it. I think it ended up being like a 40-minute visit or something with Jen. She was great.
Yeah,
she was great.
You have to pull it out of the archives for me at some point.
I'll try to pull that out of the archives.
How do you find stuff like that, by the way?
I try to save as much as I can, not only from our we do have a SoundCloud account for those of you that want to go digging into our old archives, but I also have
all Coach Dye's interviews.
I have a good amount. I've got about 90% of those phone calls.
Steve was a squirrel in a former life.
But I've also got a backup. The old junk drives.
Yeah.
I've got this one that was gigantic, and I just threw everything on it, including a lot of old commercials.
Whoops.
Oh, yeah. Where you can get corn-fed beef.
Corn-fed beef. It's hard to get nowadays.
It really is.
It's expensive.
But I say all that to say that we sat down with Matt Moscona and talked a little LSU. I spoke with Ian Fitzsimmons, who you hear quite a bit here on the Worldwide Leader. Of course, before that stop, and he's still in Dallas, he was in Birmingham at some station called Jocks down there in Birmingham.
I love the strip.
And then Martell Height, who is a cornerback from Vanderbilt University, but hails from Rome, Georgia. So when Scott Tyson heard me say Rome, Georgia, he immediately thought about John Henry's, a very popular steak establishment in the downtown strip. So you'll enjoy that conversation as well.
It is good steak, by the way.
It really is. It really is. So I say all that to say that it's 5:31 here on a by the way, tomorrow, Jordy Arman will be in studio with us coming up tomorrow.
So catering.
I'll
because you got to bribe him.
So, hey, I'm glad you went there because I'm thinking maybe a little full moon tomorrow.
Oh, see, now that's a good choice.
Either that or Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, because those two have just populated our big zone deals. Head over to our website where right now you can get $25 you can get $50 Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. Likewise for Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bubby's Diner. It's dinner time. I'm getting hungry. Full Moon Barbecue, as well as Apple Lane Farms. That is over there on the Beltline in Decatur. The paninis, the ham paninis are fantastic over there. So check that out. We'll get something catered here tomorrow. I've
got Full Moon Barbecue coupons in my truck right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Full Moon because it is literally a walk through a parking lot for us.
Yeah,
although it is
Bad Daddy's Burger. I picked up some cheeseburger bobbies too.
Okay,
I've got those to use.
Well, you scored that because they're all gone.
They went fast.
Yeah.
They really did. I mean, we talked about it on the show. Went to commercial break. I went on the website to get them, and they were going fast.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, the more certificates you buy, there's only one handling fee with it. So the more certificates you buy, the cheaper that fee is.
Go ahead and stock up and just do what I do. I just get, before I go to work, I talk to my wife about, hey, what do we want to have for dinner?
Mm-hmm.
And I just grab that coupon off the fridge and just grab it on the way home.
I'm about to make that phone call, but maybe a Bad Daddy's night, I'm thinking.
Ooh, good choice.
So head over to the website, our website, that is 977ESPN.com, and click on the Big Zone deals and enjoy. I'm thinking there is a really good chicken sandwich there at Bad Daddy's as well.
It is good.
So that and some milkshakes. So always goes down smooth. There you go. We'll have more interviews on the other side from SEC Media Days. We will talk at you tomorrow right here on The Drive. And then later on tonight, Braves baseball, they're going to try to win 2 in a row. Well, you got to win 1 in a row to make it 2 in a row. They won 1 last night. We'll see whether or not they can pull off another dub here tonight over at Truist. You'll hear Matt Moscona coming up next here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's the Ford Summer Sales Event at Woody Anderson Ford. Hey folks, Bobby White back again, and I'm here to tell you now is the time to get the Ford you've been thinking about. From 0 down leases to 0% financing, we've got it going on this summer. Woody Anderson Ford has financing as low as 0% for 48 months, plus 0 down payment, plus 0 payments for 90 days, plus 2-year 25,000-mile complimentary maintenance. You can choose a 2025 Escape, F-150, Explorer, or a Mustang. Or how about 0 down lease, $499 a month for a 2025 Explorer, F-150, or Bronco, and just $399 a month for Bronco Sport, Mustang, and Escape. Again, these are 0 down with complimentary maintenance too. This is a 36-month lease with 0 down, 0 security deposit, just tax, tag, title, and your good credit. These offers end 9/2/25. It's our Woody Anderson Ford Summer Sales Event, so hurry on down. I'm Bobby White, and I hope to see you soon.
Calling all UAH Charger students and parents. Welcome to Nexus, the first student apartment community built especially for you. Nexus is brand new, located next to the UAH Fitness Center. Enjoy your own bedroom, bathroom, fully furnished units, kitchen, washer, dryer, study room, and game lounges. And best of all, an easy walk to campus and classes. Call today to enjoy the complete college experience. Move in before fall classes start. 256-683-3939. And go Chargers.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in a garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $349 while supplies last. Go to owenappliance.com to learn more. That's owenappliance.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed the musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here with you on The Drive, wrapping up a Tuesday. Wes and I spoke with Matt Moscona, talk a little LSU football. Here is that conversation last week for Media Days. It is a little somber here with no T-Bob, at Life Without T-Bob.
Yeah, it's
And
quieter.
honestly, one of the things that I have thoroughly enjoyed is, whiskey and wine. And so LSU Day has already happened, and BK to me seemed...
It seems like to me that LSU's on the right track. Whether they make the SEC championship this year or not, that he has this going up. He has all the – it looks like he's pulled all the
But what do you think?
Yeah.
I think he when he showed up on campus, he built his staff. Half of it were Louisiana people. Half were people that knew him, came with him from Notre Dame. As of now, and I'm not talking about on field, I'm talking support staff, everything.
Right, yeah, everything.
The only person on staff still that was there from Notre Dame is Jake Flint, the strength coach. That's it. It is 100% people from LSU with Louisiana ties. It's all Louisiana. And guys, this makes sense. The biggest advantage that LSU has, LSU doesn't have a ton of money like a lot of programs do. There's a lot of things that work against it. But the biggest advantage is the dirt. It is a talent-rich state, and you are the only Power 5. You've got to own every relationship in Louisiana. And every coach that's won here has done that. And so I think when Brian first got here, he was wading into that water about waist deep. Now he's cannonballed into the deep end. He realized, no, this is what we have to do to win. So to that answer, yes. I mean, they're recruiting very well. They got Lamar Brown, the 5-star last week from Baton Rouge. And the big change, though, and I'll be fascinated to see if he continues on this path, the big change is they signed 18 guys in the portal this year. And they spent a ton of money to win now.
Yeah.
He's always said, Brian Kelly's always said he wants to build through the high school ranks and supplement in the portal. Well, 18 players and starters from Power 5 schools, you ain't supplementing nothing, Jack. You're buying a roster. You were doing what Ole Miss and Ohio State did last year to win now behind your fifth-year senior quarterback. Wes, to your question or to your point, I do believe they're building the foundation, but they are singularly focused on winning right now, in 2025.
And I've been told the weak link is the strength coach. That's what I hear from. I'm pretty dialed in down there, pretty good still.
Yeah,
I know most of the staff because they're all SU guys.
I don't work out with them, so I don't know.